This formula extracts unique distinct values from two cell columns, and simply copy the formula from my web page, and you can find the link in the description below, and paste it to your workbook. And you need to change cell references here. The first argument in the county function should point to the cell right above the current cell, and so should the first argument in the second county function. And in the first county function, the second argument is the first cell reference pointing to the first cell range, and the second county function in the second argument points to the cell reference there points to the second cell range, and in this case it's this one here. And there are two lookup functions in this formula, and the first lookup function has 3 arguments, and in the third argument it has cell reference pointing to the same cell range as here, and so is this one. So to enter this, press and hold Ctrl and Shift, and then press enter once and release all keys. And now you can click and hold on this black dot here and drag it to cells below, and that copies the formula in the first cell to cells below. And to explain this formula, I need to copy the first, or you should know that there are 2 parts in this function, in this formula, and they are almost identical except for the cell references here. And the first thing to do is to use the county function to count if the cell right above the current cell is count the values in the cell above, and the second argument is this cell range, and I'm going to use this one. And the county function finds no values, no blank values in this cell range here, so it returns 0 for each value in this array, and I want it to return true if it is 0, so equal sign and 0. And the next thing to do is to 1 divided by the array, and now I need to use a parenthesis and an ending parenthesis, and now it returns 1. And now it's time for the lookup function. And to explain that, in the first argument type 2, and in the second argument you need to use this array here. So copy this and paste it to the second argument. And the way the lookup function works is that it looks for number 2 in this array here, and it finds the largest value smaller than 2 and returns a corresponding value, or if you want, this array. And the good thing about the lookup function is that it ignores arrows, and in this case there are no arrows here yet. And so in this case the lookup function returns the corresponding value from the last value found that is equal to 1, and it's this one here. So the lookup function returns this value here, and that is why it's up here. And I'll show you. The third argument is this cell range, and then an ending parenthesis, and this you don't need to enter this as an array formula. And now you can see that it returns this value here. And if I copy this to cells below, I can't do that yet. The cell reference must be pointing to the cell right above this cell. And when I copy this to the cell below, the first argument, the cell reference in the first argument in the county function, expands, and you can see that now points to this cell range. And in the first cell it pointed to only this cell up here. So now the formula knows which values have been shown. And then copy it to cells below. Now the if error function allows you to change the error value to a value, and I'm going to use a blank value here, and then press enter, and now look at these values down here. They are now blanks, but we can use this to extract values from a second list too. And if I want to do that, simply copy this formula and paste it to the second argument in the if error function. And now I need to change the cell references here, and it should be pointing to a second list, which is this one, and then this one. And now look what happens. These blank cells here are now populated with unique distinct values from this list.